There's certain things I just cannot fathom. I'll say this. Controversy though, I can wipe the floor with you. Nonsense, garbage, rubbish. Put it in a skip, burn it. When I am in drill mode, in ghost mode, it's a serious thing.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the More Than Drill and Drum podcast.
The podcast where we talk about drill, drum and more.
My name is Jamila.
And I'm Tyrese.
And today we have a very special episode lined up for you.
I know him as a drummer.
I know him as a driller.
But in today's episode, we're going to find out who he really is.
So sit back, relax and enjoy this episode.
Hello, Jamila.
Hello, Tyrese.
And how are you doing this marvellous day?
I'm doing all the better to be here filming again.
Oh, it's been quite some time.
It's been a minute, man.
But we're here, reunited again.
And it's not just us in the studio
Wait. I have got a joke.
Go on.
All right, so have you ever watched WWE? Do you know what it's about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this guy called John Cena.
Yeah.
And usually there's this joke like, he's got this thing that's like, you can't see me.
Yeah.
So he has his interviews and everyone's like, are we actually interviewing John Cena? Because we literally can't see him because of his catchphrase.
Yeah.
But today we've got a guest who goes by the name Ghost.
Oh.
But I'm looking over to my right. Is there anyone in the sofa? So
I guess we'll turn the camera and find out.
introducing Adam.
Welcome.
What's happening?
How are you? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm honored to be here. Finally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been in the
Finally.
works since 2024.
Jay, I see it. I didn't even want to say that. I didn't even want to admit to that. But all right. Yes, I'm busy. Yeah. I'm always busy.
Busy guy, but the fact that you've been requested to come onto this podcast by multiple people.
It's true.
All right.
Yeah.
All
And they're
right.
asking, who is Ghost? Like, we want Ghost on. So where's the name Ghost originated from? Like,
So I actually have loads of nicknames.
Okay.
When I say loads, that might be an exaggeration in itself, but I tend to have different nicknames for. If you hear people call me different things, you could tell where they know me from. You know what I mean? Ghost actually originated from cadets.
okay.
Because as an NCO, as an officer, it was said I had the ability to be seen and not heard, and then
Okay.
heard and not seen.
Okay.
It's weird. Because anybody that knows Adam usually say, you hear Adam before you see him.
Okay.
Because, he got a big mouth, he's talking now. You know what I mean? But once it came down to anything paramilitary or military, like, you know what I mean? And then because I wore Blakey's on my boots,
Blakey's
still
are...
do. So Blakey's are actually called heel preservatives.
Okay.
They're worn by officers so that their troops can hear when they're coming.
So that little piece
So
of
that
steel.
it's a piece of steel
Okay.
on the bottom. Some people plate you get drill plates, you get bits, you get different types. I particularly like Blakey's because they're like semi horseshoe.
Okay.
Go at the back of your heel, and when you're walking, clip.
You just like the sound.
Clip. And then there's a particular way to walk in it.
Okay.
Like if you were a good cadet back in there, you could tell who coming. So when I was younger, we had a certain major who he used to wear horseshoes, and you could tell when he's coming. And then I replicated that. And then it was like, yeah, boy, he like the ghost who's walked, boy. Like 1 minute he did, next minute he not there. And that's what I kind of like stick. So then like training people, then I will always tell them, listen, you'll see me and then you won't see me. Or you think I'm not there and I'm there. I like a ghost. And
That's how the name stuck.
Wow.
you know what I mean? And then the North now is like elevated it even more. You know what I mean? Like,
Ghost.
Yeah.
no one knows who Adam is. Like, Adam, who's that? Oh, you mean Ghost? So I don't mind.
So you talked about cadets. Was that done in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Given the accent, where is it from?
Barbados.
Of course.
Sweetest little piece of 166 square
Second
miles.
sweetest.
So swiftly moving on. Tell us about your time in the cadets.
I was actually born in the British Virgin Islands,
Okay.
Oh.
So I was born on Tortola, British Virgin Islands, and it would be remiss of me if I came on a drill and drum podcast, and we'd probably get into why if I didn't shout out where it was born. It's had a lot to do with my drumming aspect in particular. But then to Barbadian parents, my dad was a diplomat, you know, and I grew up in Barbados when I was on 3, almost 4, you know, and the rest is this is history. So Beijing to the bone, you know.
Nice. So when did cadets and drilling and drumming kind of get in the picture for you?
All right, so I've always been from as long as I can remember. And then when it came to Pathfindering, Pathfinders and Adventures, Dad being a master guide, director, he was a year coordinator at home as well for a period of time. So from very, very young, I'm talking about like from 4, 5 years old, I went everywhere with my dad. So you're in the uniform ministry, you're seeing different things as well. You're seeing Girl Guides, Scouts, Cadets, Boys Brigade. So, and then in Barbados, Independence Parade is a huge thing. And then for anybody that likes cadence, marching band, anything military, anything drill, that's going to be a highlight of your year. So for as long as I can remember, I've always seen, and it might even seem a little bit ambitious or cocky or whatever, but I've always looked at officers and be like, yeah, I want to be that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
You set yourself up
front
a goal.
band, I want to be that.
Aim high.
You know what I mean? Like, forget the processing. I want, let's 4 or 5 year old Adam, like, I'm going to do that.
And just to quickly skip to the end, is that something that you were able to achieve?
I was going to say that I don't like talking about myself. But you gonna make me really talk. Like, I don't like to talk, but he don't really like to talk about himself.
Let's talk about ghosts then.
Ooh.
See, good try. I'd say yes. I'd say yes. But as far as I'm concerned, there's more. Not from a greedy perspective, from a service perspective. There's more that I believe is there to be achieved. There's more. I don't feel like I've achieved. I really don't feel like I've achieved my potential yet, or what God put me here for. That makes sense. So yeah, march in front. You know what I mean? Like, lead this. You know what I mean? Start that. You know, but I just think there's more. There's in my brain. We're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet. You know.
If I were to be so brazen, what does there look like for you?
Ultimate goal is heaven, huh?
Okay.
Come on now.
Amen.
Ultimate goal is heaven, and I believe like Jesus, we should take his example for using analogies that that people can relate to help them to understand things. So, from my perspective, if we're talking about drilling and drumming, I will be in that grand investiture in that huge marching band up and down the streets of golden heaven. That's there. Secondary to that is the mission that he gave us. Go ye therefore, innit? Teach all nations teach all nations about him. The means and the method that I think I've been blessed to be able to do that is through drilling and drumming, and like even things that people may seem as trivial or whatever. I mean, people like it. People see it and be like, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, why do you do that? So who are you? Conversation starter. You know, so there for me, heaven first. Secondly, and by extension, thirdly, is to get that 4-year-old that I was. I know what it was like to be a 4-year-old and look at a drum major or look at a parade command and be like, yeah, I want to do that. So when I see youngsters now, like, it's not overconfidence or arrogance, or it's me saying, well, all right, look, let me help you get past me. Don't look at me, look past me. So that's what their look. It's constant. If to put it in one word, it's constant. You know what I mean? So churning out a Tyrese or a Jamila or a whoever, and not give God the glory, but saying, you know what, I don't help me. Da 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 da. That just warmed my heart. You know, like, all right, that's there.
I'm remembering a time where, let's say I had a mace and I was leading out a parade, and a kid must have come up to me and was like, what is that stick that you have? So I'm explaining, it's not a stick, it's a mace.
There you go.
But then I've given them the opportunity to hold the mace, and their face lit up.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, and just wondering, I wonder if that will influence them to
even
follow
if
in
you
that path.
never see it. Even if you personally never see it, believe you me, the fact that you remember that their face lit up, trust me, it influenced them. It's 100%, with like 1,000%. The youth director once told me, slight tangent, but same principle. The youth director once told me, very, very good friend, Pastor Peters, once told me, Adam, you don't wear your sash for you, you know. You're on a sash, you don't wear that for you. Your uniform shows your achievement, you know, your classes. You know, you're master guy, man. You wear your scarf, you know, show who you are, what you represent, man. You dress properly, fine. But your honor sash, you wear for your pathfinders, your adventurers. Them's the ones that's come and ask you, what's this? What's that? What's this? How do I get that? That's who you wear that for. I never forgot it. Wow. And you being a drum major, if you're a drum major and a kid comes, like, why you got that stick? And the mere explanation, them can tell everybody else that they're here say, oh, did you see the drum major, how he was moving the stick? It's not a stick.
It's a mace.
It's a mace. But you might not be privy to that conversation, but you planted that seed. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, keep it up. 100%.
Cool. Then, can I ask the important question?
You have to.
I'm shivering.
The whole podcast comes down to this one question, let's be real.
And there have been people in the past who have tried to say they're both, but they can't be both. I don't think it can be both.
I think that question itself is up for debate.
Okay, but Adam, sorry, Ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know which one to appeal to, you know? Which one would I get the right answer from? Okay. Adam/Ghost.
Yeah.
Team drill or team drum?
Adam and Ghost will tell you it's not about both. It's about that neither can live without each other.
Oh, okay. This is a new answer.
One, fair.
Okay.
Neither.
Explanation.
Drumming is reliant on cadence. Drilling is also reliant on cadence. To do one means you have to appreciate the other.
Okay.
You drill to a rhythm, whether you can hear a drum or not. You drum and have to be able to drill. Can't do one without another.
Okay. I might have to mute this bit out so people don't have that.
I'm sorry to disappoint the team drillers and the team drummers, but for me, and y'all know me, if I come to a boot camp, I'm in both spaces. There's some people that there's been a elevated practice, particularly in the British Unions. so yeah, North and South England, where somehow we see it separate. But yet, when we come to parades, it's not separate, is it?
It's not.
Like in no sense of the drillers have to march to the beats of the drum corps or marching band. And the marching band does not move without drilling. So a good drill instructor or a drum major will tell you, and they don't profess to be one. I try. Neither can't live without each other.
Okay, fair enough. There have been previous podcasts where we've talked about drilling, drumming going hand in hand. So just paint myself in a better light, just in case.
All right, Tyrese.
That being said, if I could prolong it for a little bit, that being said, there's nothing wrong with having a preference.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with having a preference.
Yes, I'm like,
Don't toss the question back now. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. But I literally don't.
okay.
I literally do not. So I can't even say both. Because when I watching a parade, for argument's sake, I'm watching both aspects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have an appreciation for both aspects. I'll see a ridiculous precision turn and be like, ah! And you know what I mean? Or I'll hear a drummer go off on a solo and be like, ah! Same way. You're right? So, yeah,
Okay.
That's fair. I just love how drillers and drummers react to stuff in the same way. Like, you see something good and it just touches you in a different way.
You want to see it again? You're like, nah, I need that again. Nah, I need that again. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So what did you start with?
As in drilling or drumming? Drilling, 100%. Drilling, sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Like, drilling, 1,000%. Which do they do more? Drilling, by far.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. I'm sorry. And this is hours and hours and hours of marching band. Not just drum corps percussion, marching band, but like drilling is the higher percentage. Even in marching band and marching drum corps, drilling is a higher percentage. So drillers can tell you, yeah, y'all can't do without us. But don't worry, I got something for them too.
Okay.
I did enjoy drumming more though.
Okay.
Like drumming is like my soul. Like I'd be at work,
Just tough it away.
tapping a bit.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't run away from
Can't
it.
run away from it. You know, but I started with drilling. Like I said, following my dad around and stuff like that. If you need content, old pictures, embarrassing pictures, me at 5 years old.
Come on now. Is that our key to
in a
insert?
parade. Yeah, you can hold me to that, yeah. but yeah, so drill for sure. Was always fascinated with giving commands. So like, even now, when I'm teaching drill instructors or whatever, one of my favorite modules is command and control. How to use your voice and what's not. You had to learn how to do that. When you're watching a parade, like one of the things that go is when you're hearing a parade commander give commands and regulate the actual command and like where he paused and then the style he give it and then like you hear his accent so you can tell where he's from or what. Sorry, if I'm going on too much.
Can you give an example?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
While you're thinking, I've always enjoyed hearing, I'm going to get it wrong because I haven't said it in quite a long time, but someone who's experienced saying rear rank will turn to the left, front rank will turn to the right, left and right turn. See, I've even messed it up. But
That's
you know,
all right.
when you've...
I know what you mean.
It's when it just comes smoothly off the tongue.
So you want me to give the whole command?
Yes,
The
please.
entire command. You're like, yes, please. It's like a little kid in the candy store. I love it. So if you the command, the precursor to that would be the one place forward, one place backward. Then you get the stand fast, the number one. Front right will turn to the right, rear right will turn to the left, right and left. Turn. Like the pro, and yes, you have to practice. A lot of people feel like, oh, it's a natural.
Nah.
Gotta practice it.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta practice it. Some like you there are always things that may come more natural than others, and when you realize you can do it. I'm a G at this, but like, and you pick up things from people. There's nothing wrong with copying. There's nothing wrong with copying, but put your spin to it.
Yeah.
So like another shout out coming, Chief Peterson, who's arguably my greatest teacher when it comes to drill. Yeah. His manner of command, I mimic a lot. Like you could tell a lot of us that were taught by him, even from cadets, and I knew him in two spheres, cadets, and then he's one of the major instructors for the Barbados Pathfinder Band. All of us that we are influenced by how he gave the commands, like simple things like this was the example I was going to give you. he would step off a whole parade. Parade will step off by the left, yeah? But he wouldn't just say by the left. He would include the dressing.
Okay.
So he would say, parade will step off dressing from the left or by the left. And softly like that. But everybody can still hear it. Then he'll give the by the left. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal to hear. Phenomenal to hear. And I try to emulate it. You know what I mean? So, but as long as you're doing it right.
Kind of have your own little flavor. And I think as a driller, you learn to respond to the way that your commander does their thing. And I definitely resonated when you were saying how the way that you say it can alter the way that you have command
100%.
over the group.
100%.
Yeah, like it might seem almost like too much detail, but those little intonations actually matter. So yeah, definitely.
For sure. Even something as simple as you were, yeah? Something as simple as you were.
I'm getting flashbacks from your ones.
It's okay, man.
They differ. If the team working well, yeah? Like really working well, and they make a wrong turn, like Azure. Just give it Azure. And because they're working well, they'll return to previous position and be like, we'll go again. If it's been a painstaking day, however, and I've had to give a Azure too many times, you'll get a bark now. Azure!
Pizza, what you doing, pizza? Oh,
It
man.
is not like
Yeah.
shock people into response. You know what I mean? There's a saying I could almost never remember it on cue, but most people that I instruct, especially the children, Pathfinders and Adventurers, they annoy me with it sometimes. So like if they do something rubbish, I be like, nonsense, trash, garbage. Put it in a skit. And now I don't have to finish the line because they go, burn it, seal it to Antarctica. And it came out of, like, I didn't sit at home and write that down, like, I'm going to say this. It was just like a day that I said it and it stuck. You know what I mean? So, like, now you get a different response, like you said. You know what I mean? So when you give that as you were, and I say, rubbish, you'll hear them like, garbage, trash, put it in the skip, burn it. And then I will do the action. Right? And then that now might jolt them into now better performance. You know what I mean? Also, you still have their attention. You know what I mean? You maintaining the jovialness, but the seriousness at the same time, you know? And you can do that with drill and drum. You know what I mean? Because I know you've heard it in drum practice as well. You know, but yeah. Good man, control, man.
So when it comes to like giving commands, what is the importance of that? Like why should someone learn to be able to take commands from someone else?
Discipline. Discipline. The best leader learned how to follow first. Not was forced to follow. A lot of people feel that military and paramilitary, even in our faith, persons have a problem with, and I you know me, I straight up, I don't mind saying the so-called controversial things. I just call it as I see it. A lot of people have a problem with Pathfinder and Adventure, for argument's sake, from the drill aspect, because man, trying to turn the children into soldiers. No, we get up and sing, we are marching to Zion, right? Psst. You're marching the army. Right? So you have to be able to follow to be able to learn how to lead. And if you can do that, then when you lead, you understand then the purpose or the beauty of that command. Right? So even if you never give command, those that you are giving command to, or let me say it like this, those that you're giving command to, even if they never aspire to give command or never reach that level or whatever the case may be, for whatever reason, they still understand the command and the beauty of that command. When we're in a drill squad, we could be in a drill squad together, us three. We've all had the opportunity and experience of giving commands at some point. But I'm sure, I'm saying this confidently, that we could be in a unit and receive commands from somebody else and feel the same joy executing those commands as if we were the ones giving the command. That's the beauty of a command. You know what I mean? And and sadly, some people lose that. Some people can only see themselves as giving the command. You know what I mean? Then you've lost the beauty of the command itself. The discipline, the beauty of the discipline of the command. Same Chief used to say, still does say, he ain't going yet. Drill is a discipline, not a form of discipline. So you should never use drill to punish.
See, that's changed my mindset now, because I guess I've thought you're in a drill squad, you progress to being able to be given commands now, but it's more of you've evolved. You're still given commands, but if at any point you still need to be a part of that drill squad, there should be no bitterness towards that.
100%.
You should still be able to give your 100% back to doing whatever movements are necessary.
The fact that you are the commander means that you understand that every cog in this wheel is essential for this wheel to roll. And if for whatever reason it's missing a cog, I have to have the same pride of leading this wheel to be able to fill in that cog. And my whoever I'm leading have to have that confidence in me. Because if they don't then have that confidence in you, rift. You know? And that's applicable to drill and drumming. You know? And as a core, as a band. One band,
one movement,
one song.
So you mentioned about how you can use commands themselves to kind of re-energize a group. And I'm wondering, how else can we keep drill and drum fun while still maintaining that discipline that you described?
Superb question. That's where your personality is come in now. I struggle. I'll be honest. I struggled with that, with understanding that. That's how I know I get old now. I struggle with understanding that a lot in my younger years. So especially like your 20s, my 20s, some of that. You know, like when you progress at a rate that's admirable by some, and others might say, yeah, he think he know too much already. You know, but you progressing and you ain't care because you're confident. Then you also have that aura of keeping everything bubbly, keeping everything. Like, I think God blessed me with that as well. In that, you know, I know when to be serious. Anybody know me know, like, hey, it's time to be serious, eh? But it's never boring, right? Now, what I've not yet quite achieved is how to teach others to replicate that, other than the theoretical aspect. In that, you have to keep things active. So yes, you're doing drill. You could read the room. Always read the room.
Yeah.
Could tell when, or again, a little bit tedious now. Even if you're working on something they're not quite getting it, cut that. Go to something that they do know. It might be an old movement. It might be an old display. It might be an old beat. It might be, cut that. Go back to your old beat. Have fun with it. Dance with them a little bit sometimes too. Sure, y'all see me doing that. They laugh. They make, this is the one that everybody is used. Get them a break. You know? Give them a break. So try to use all three of those things. Switch it up. Go to something they know. Get them a break. Come back. When they come back, they get completely different energy. Hopefully positive. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, it'll be positive when they come back. You know what I mean? And then, or in that same break, you might see them trying to work on what you was trying to teach them.
That's what I love to see.
Yeah. Because now they're re-energized. And you re-energize them. So it's come with personality. It's like, you have to be motivated to be like, and it's not necessarily easy. So my struggle is like trying to get people like, because everybody's not the same. You know, like some people more laid back, some people more serious. Like, nah, we serious. We come to do this. Let's do that. Let's try to be like, yes, we are serious. but ain't that serious. Like, and we enjoy it because you want these young people to enjoy it. Like, enjoy it because we enjoy it. We can sit down and watch parades for hours, like for hours on end. Like, I could watch Barbados Independence Parade year by year by year. 90% of the same thing happening every year, and I watching, like, you know what I mean? Because we enjoy it, right? And I'm sure y'all go back and watch some of your old videos and stuff like that over. Oh, I got videos of y'all I watch over, and I guarantee you, every time you watch it over, you see something that you didn't see before. Might be a mistake. Might be, ooh, remember that? Let's use that in the new, right? You want to replicate that with whoever you're teaching. So the moment you read the room and you see, right, yeah, these are getting a little bit slow now. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're getting a little bit annoyed now.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want to hear my voice.
And I'm about to send them to Antarctica.
Brother, sail them. You know? So, you know what I mean? Stop, pause, send them to the ease. You know what I mean? Crack a joke. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But repetition and practice.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to personality, that's what I'd say.
To throw into the mix of that as well, a change of face, making one of them lead out or try and settle the group.
It's a great point. A great point. I mean, because it might be difficult, whatever you were trying to achieve, you might get more reluctance to them wanting to do that. And hence why, take your point and add it to go to something they know. So you go back to a beat they know, go to a movement they know, and make one of them lead out. Yeah, you can. Remember that display we do? You lead. You call the artist. I'll sit, I'll wait. And I can tell y'all what y'all doing wrong. You know what I mean? And make fun of it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not two lefters here. Huh? Nonsense, garbage, rubbish. Put in a skip. Burn that. Right? And then you get everybody back and good to go again.
Yeah. Another thing that I found helpful sometimes is when you're doing something new, splitting off into lots of different groups and everyone can kind of like teach each other and assess each other. So you're kind of like empowering a lot of different people to be like subgroup leaders. And I feel like that can be helpful for the sort of high achievers who get it and then they can teach other people. And then like other people don't have the pressure of like everyone looking at them.
Yeah.
You'll give yourself another job then now. Then you'll have to deal now with the egos now. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Like, it can be seen as a negative problem, but it's only a negative problem if you let it get away. And that's very easy to say and much harder to do. But once you do that now, you don't have to be conscious, all right, cool. Adam got that group, Tyrese got that group, Jemima got that group. Yeah, but them's three big head people there. All right, so when we all come back together now, now there's a slight competition, whether we admit it or not, that the leader now has to deal with, because now we're trying to show him subconsciously, sometimes it's consciously too, like, yeah, I'm that guy. But subconsciously, like, yeah, I'm ready for the next step, you know. And sometimes the leader does get, sometimes we get tempted and teased with, they are ready for the next step. And we promote one of them and not the other two. Great little tension, you know. Yeah. So it gives another dimension to deal with. So you just be cognizant of that.
Yeah, of course.
But it's also a good tool, you know. And then you get camaraderie among the different subgroups. Like, say it's a drill. I mean, use the drilling. It's drilling. So everybody's pretty much working on the same thing. Even if you got different precision movements or whatever, you're working on the same thing for the same display. Cool. Drumming is slightly different because you have the different sections. But then when you come back from those subgroups now, this group of three be like, yeah, we got it. You ain't got it yet. You know? You get a little competition or what's not. That's another problem we've got to deal with. All right, we're all a team. Like, you know what I mean? But you keep it, you know? It's a conundrum. I haven't quite yet. I'll never admit to, yeah, I know how to teach people how to handle that. Nah. Personality thing. It's personality thing. Sometimes I might be struggling dealing with it. Tyrese might walk in and completely quell the situation. Might just needed a different approach that I wasn't seeing. You know what I mean? And vice versa, you know? But it happens. Yeah.
Can we just take a pause on that word competition though?
Yeah.
Where do you think the place of competition lands in drill and drum?
There's no drilling and drumming, no competition. There is no drilling and drumming before competition. Competition is healthy. Negative competition. Yeah? So when people are being divisive, yeah? For me, that's no longer competition. Now you're being bad mind. Sorry, is that too colloquial? That's too cultural?
It makes sense to me.
No, yeah, like people, when you need to muddy someone else's water to make your water look cleaner, your water ain't worth drinking. Jeez, somebody should write that down.
Don't worry, we got it on record. 4K.
For real though. Yeah. Should I repeat it? When you need to muddy someone else's water to make yours look cleaner, yours is not worth drinking. I don't care who you are. You can be the best ever. We can be competitive. We can banter all day. Nah, I know it better than you. I can wipe the floor with you. You know, right? You know, right, yourself? I can wash you with all that. That's very different to me saying, bruv, you're crap, bruv. You're absolute crap. That's where I think we need to rise above. We don't need that. We don't need to call somebody else garbage. You don't need to call somebody rubbish. That's trash, bruv. You know what I mean? I know you said it just like if you don't move it, y'all doing garbage. You know what I mean?
But you keep that to yourself.
That's encouraging. And it's a way that's said. Rather than that's garbage. Y'all is garbage. Y'all is folly. Y'all is so much garbage. That's not, for me, that's not competitive. No, you pulling on something. That has no place in our ministry. I could tell you, dog, we can bust y'all out here now. Bring whatever y'all bringing. Whatever you bringing, we can mash up y'all out. That's banter. And I don't like when people say, nah, no competition, no, nah. Because no, for me, you're killing the sport. You're killing the love of it. Because you're killing the drive of it. You know, like, and it's good to be unified, to come together. It's equally good to have an identity, because 30 of us in a drill squad is still 30 individuals, one team, right? Tyrese's ability isn't my ability. My ability is not Tyrese's ability. I may be better overall. I might be more experienced overall. It must be. I know there's something he's better than me at.
I still bring something to the table.
Right? So we can banter that, yeah, your left turn is nonsense, dog. Bring that left turn. Bring that sweet left turn you go. Yeah, I know that. Sweet. When you see my about turn, it will destroy it. You know what I mean? But I can't tell him, like, your left turn have no right being here. Like, nah. And if it's wrong, because then there's that element. Right? Like, when a movement might not be done the correct way by a particular drum team or drill team, and instead of correcting it or saying, you know, y'all actually not doing this the right way now, we say, yeah, y'all it's so much garbage. Look at this. What's this here? You know what I mean? There's a way. There's a way and a way. Because then you build instead of right now. But my view, competition's healthy. You rate competition.
Yeah. So Adam, I think we need to take this opportunity to clear the record. Because, based on all
such
that
a
you
bold
just
statement.
said, it is. Because there's some people out there who have a certain memory of you which relates to what we've just been talking about. Let's cast our minds back to a certain camp.
Yeah.
Starting with boot. And, you walked in on a certain practice session that was happening.
Yeah.
And there are certain individuals who were, in that practice session who remember some critical words that you said.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting justice for them now.
I'm
We're
not
trying
justice. I just want the record to be
I
set
might have to
straight,
stand with you
isn't
on
it?
this one.
That's all right.
Let me.
Can I ask for names? Can I ask for names?
I'm gonna protect them. I'm gonna protect
All
them.
right. It's all good. It's all good.
So advanced drillers were doing their thing,
Yeah.
and you walked in, and let's just say the practice might not have been going the best, and you were like, "Is this what you call the advanced drillers?"
So I've stopped saying it in my defense. Stop. Because if you say that, you're trying to justify your action. And I ain't justifying my action if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah? Is that maturity? He ain't getting old. Yeah, for real. However, when I am in drill mode, in ghost mode, yeah?
See it in the face, man.
Just me, you saw the switch.
When I in ghost mode, it's a serious thing. Even if we being bubbly and what's not, there's certain things I just cannot fathom. I don't want to say tolerate. I cannot fathom. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to label something advanced, okay,
You have to pass the basics first.
I come to expect a minimum level. As a matter of fact, regardless of whatever the level is, be it basic, be it not knowing anything, beginner, basic, intermediate, advanced, elite, because that's what officer's supposed to be. When people see you, like, if you make a mistake, they would not have known. Yeah? Like, you come off a parade and be like, yeah, I make a couple of mistakes. And they'll be like, what? Yeah, I make a couple of mistakes there. You know what I mean? Other elite men or even advanced people would be like, they recognize it. But you come to, you expect a level. So when they walk on a square, I in drill mode. We at boot camp. I in drill mode. What I did there, I would never have done at an event. And anybody could call me on that. If anybody see me at an event and they know that I'm disgusted if I walk away.
Oh no,
That's even worse. Just shout I'm garbage, please.
But that's because they know Adam. Or they see my face, they see me standing up and they'll be like,
With that smile as well. Disappointed.
I have people that be like, yeah, but we can see Adam there chomping at the bit. Because I am. Right? That's our event. We are boot camp. We on the training ground. Right? That's where full ghost mode. Full ghost mode. When you walk, what's this? What's that? Nah. That's Adam, the warrant officer. That's like, if I'm a drill instructor, to which I'm supposed to be, a drum major, which I'm senior drum major, all that jazz, warrant officer first class, blah, 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 blah. I'm supposed to, and you telling me these is the advanced drillers. Nah, send them back. For what I can see here, and again, I'm not justifying because I could have been wrong. You could have been working on a movement that not necessarily is displaying your ability. Your ability may be higher than the particular precision exercise you're always doing. But for what I could have seen, the basics I could have seen that was getting wrong, I was like, these in advance.
But given the situation as well, like, we can speak for these people because we know that put fuel to the fire. And where they are at now the level of drill, their standards have increased.
No, I would have never known that. From my observation, based on my first intricate interaction with the NEC, to know, of course there's been improvement. I don't take credit for that. But based on what you just said, remember what I said earlier about you giving the child the mace? You never probably hearing the conversation the child have or knowing what that did for that child. I would have never known that had you not said anything, for argument's sake, beyond my observation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I admire the Norse. This is not comparing, just for people to know.
Disclaimer.
Norse, application to getting something perfect. Like, it could be dead wrong. It could be, like, movements might not be executed correctly or what. Perfection. You know, they all work at it. So your statement makes sense. You see what I'm saying? It's like saying that, be like, nah, dog, he ain't coming to another camp and not calling me advanced. I advance. Yeah. That's the kind of attitude I have. Right? Do you embarrass me to the point where I'm gonna walk on here and say this is what's advanced? And I'm in that squad thinking he got to be mad. The next time he see me, he gonna eat them words. That's where that comes from, you know? Like, just from a motivational perspective, rather than but
it worked.
It did.
It really did.
Yeah, man. Good.
So, touching on NEC and SEC, what is your involvement within Pathfinders with those two?
That's a complex question.
Or what has been? Give me your track record. Like, what have you done?
So I start with home. Since coming to London, since coming to England, I've always been in the South. South England Conference. I've always worked on the fringes of conference. Like being real, I've always worked on the fringes. A lot to my displeasure, because there's a lot that in my time here I have seen the South. We talking about drilling and drumming. The South struggle with. They might not admit it, but that's okay. I tell anyone I've like struggle with, and I'm sitting here like, bro, I'm right here for free. For free. I right here. If the drumming revolution crossed the Union, South and North, if the story of the drumming revolution is told correctly, again, forgive me if this sounds like arrogance, it is not. I'm just trying to tell the truth. If it's told correctly, it cannot be told correctly without Adam Graves. Cannot. In 2006, there was one premier drum corps in the British Union. That's Holloway Road. One. My grandmother out to a conversation, and I went to help them practice for Denmark Camporee. Fine. Play with them, what's not, give the tips, what's not. Create a bond. The children at Brixton challenged me at that very camporee, but you getting us ready, lining us up, and then going to play with Holloway. We want a drum corps too. 2007, birth Brixton Drumliners. Having a conversation with the now drum director in the conference, Marcus. He was like, man, I been wanting to do something like this, like help him start Lewisham. He did very well. We had a little rivalry. So it was
healthy competition.
Healthy competition. It was very healthy. Holloway, Brixton, Lewisham. It was like
those
them
are the
three,
greats back in the day.
Those three, like they had the Croydons,
and Ilford Central was in there.
They had the
well.
Ilfords. They had Stratford had one as well. Then we started Greenwich. I started Hackney. So it really, really boomed. So most drum corps in the South between, let's say, '07 and 2010 were either started or given supreme help by myself or Marcus or products of us. Then the concept of the conference corps originally was a mass corps concept. It's not a mass corps. The NEC's concept is also not a mass corps. It's closer to, it has more potential, or it would be easier to modify the concept in the North England Conference into being a mass corps concept rather than a singular corps concept. And there's nothing wrong with a singular corps concept, that they both are.
When we say in single corps, we talk about like individual churches.
So, yes, you have individual church corps, club corps, and what's not. In both conferences, you have that. But they're all driven to play the conference beats. They all are. On both ends of the spectrum. Enough emphasis is not placed on training actual leaders to be able to develop their individual styles. There's a fear, it seems, that if you allow that, if you allow that it'll be more divisive than the unity that we want. That's nonsense. Because we live in Britain. Every year there's a parade called the King's Birthday Parade. It used to be the Queen's Birthday Parade for most of our lives. And every year, the mass bands of the household cavalry play. They all play the same music at that parade. When they play separately, they play their repertoires. It may include music that some others play. It will include music that only that particular band plays. So that in itself is an example. Of course, it can be done. If you go to the States, same thing. When you got drum battles, you get drum battle, your corps come, my corps come, we playing different beats. And then there's that one beat that we both know, and everybody in the jam session, right? So the mass corps concept, when I first introduced, again, myself, it was always on the fringes, probably because of people's perception of me. I'm convinced of that, because of people's perception of me. I probably didn't do it any favors either. I always was a fire from the hip guy. Always was. But that being said, okay, if you don't necessarily want to use me, but get somebody then that does know. Or, so that you do progress. But you rather negate progression or hamper progression because we don't want to use you. All right, be that as it may. It progressed, and in my humble opinion, the drumming revolution went from being as expansive as it was becoming by 2010, 2011, the different corps, and to a singular goal of we're teaching everybody, whether they admit it or not, teaching everybody to aim to play for the conference. Right? And where that is not necessarily a bad thing to aim for, to play for the conference, that's very, very good. At the same time, you should never be killing the individual progress of the course, to which continues. So that's the South England Conference, where drumming is concerned. Where drilling is concerned, very, very similar. But again, I'm always here. But there are others that know and what's not. So I never had a problem or anything. If I saw anything that I'd be like, that ain't quite right, I'll call it out. They agree, they don't agree. Cool. I come from the West Indies, where Pathfinder is extremely strong. And little things like a flag in the wrong place, church members know. Like, wait that flag? You know what I mean? Whereas it's very different here. Come to realize that, do things and then be like, oh yeah, it's all right. Because don't worry, just carry it. Nah, that don't fly with me. You know what I mean? Yo, wear a uniform. That's all right. Just put on any. Nah, that don't fly with me. And I see that all the way up to conference level. So I've always had a problem. You know what I mean? Because we're supposed to be the best. We're supposed to be aiming to be the best. Not arrogance, not cockiness. Example of service, and so on and so forth. With the NEC's relationship with the NEC's has always been because of friends. You know, so like I knew people within the NEC, not necessarily working with the NEC until we like would get together at a camp or whatever. You know, then in recent years, so we're talking. When was our first boot camp that we met? 2019.
No, I think it was like
2022.
2022. So that was my first official involvement.
And that was when I got shocked to see you. Because I'd moved up from London. I'm like, I'm not expecting to see
There was 3
you.
of us in there. Yourself, me, and Terrell.
Yeah.
Terrell
came up with that Lewisham drum corps with Marcus. Bad boy drummer. Bad boy drummer. It was good times. It was good times. Great times. And like the development, side note, me and Terrell had this conversation as well. And I tell people from back home all the time, here, we don't have here not the application, the drive, the swagger, the military swagger that we have home. We ain't got in Pathfinder in particular. We ain't got it here. We still trying to build it. There are persons, you know, we trying to build it.
You talk about drilling and drumming specifically.
Drilling and drumming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pathfinder on the whole, as a matter of fact. Let's go broad.
Okay.
Because the swagger of Pathfinder comes from drilling and drumming. Comes from the precision of looking good.
Yeah, your uniform,
you know?
And yeah.
It's not the purpose is to look good. The purpose is service. Obviously, the purpose is to be an example. The purpose is to be a witness. But you have to be that witness. Look, that comes from what we do, right? We ain't got it to the levels of home. Home is
Am I hearing Adam say that he's going to take us to Barbados one day? And
Let me check my earphones real quick because
is it just hello?
I was gonna check my banking app because last I checked, but that could be a thing.
It could
Watch
be.
the space.
You heard it here first.
That could be a thing. But what if we're talking about drumming in particular? The technique here in the British Union and the South is leading still by a little ways. The technique here and the technique children have here, I just tell men home, hey, y'all can't see these youngsters. That's something that come up with Marcus, David, stuff like that, developing our technique. The ability of the drummers, really and truly the development itself, but the motivation to do that came from those guys. And it developed now if you could somehow, some way, if I could influence a marrying of that technique and to develop the swagger with it, winner, chicken dinner. Right? Because here in the North now, what the North has done is they've given me the opportunity to be able to train. I dare say to correct some, because there's a lot of common faults in drilling. A lot of common faults. Practices that we swear by now. Yeah, this is how you do it.
And that's always like coming from a debate because what standard are you following?
British military standard.
Okay.
So British military, and that goes into a debate too.
Yeah.
Because then people say, well, what is the British military standard? Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force. All 5 branches. Army, Marine, Navy, Air Force. I forgetting one. Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force.
Cadet?
Well, no. No, because cadets spider into all. I would have been forgetting one if I was talking from American perspective. From the American perspective, you include National Reserve, National Guard.
Okay.
But from all of those elements, do the same basics. The same basics: right turn, left turn, about turn, at the halt, on the march, position of attention, at ease. The differs are specific to whatever field they're serving. For example, the salute. So infantry or army or marine salute, which is mainly ground forces, is open palm. Yeah?
Okay.
A naval salute is palm to the floor. There's a reason for that. I give people something to research. I ain't gonna tell you everything. Yeah? There's a reason for that. But the standard is open palm because Army uses it, Marines use it, and then the Navy and the Air Force. No, so Army, Marines, and the Air Force use open palm. The Navy uses, because that's maritime, right? Said it wasn't gonna but that's the basis is British Standard Military.
Okay.
As master guides in pathfinding and adventuring, we are duty bound to execute the primary used drill in the country for which you serve.
Okay. So the primary would be what?
The primary is Army.
Okay.
Right? The primary is Army. British standard military drill for the Army.
So that's
That's
not really
what
up
we
for
should be
debate then. If it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Oh.
So when I hear people debating, I was like, why is it even a debate? Because then what we then turn out to be debating, there's be practices. Some malpractice that come in somewhere along the line, be like, yeah, that's what we do. Well, we normally do. Okay. But what's correct? And then somebody has a problem with it. Be like, oh, but we can't change that now. How we carry the flags. We carry the flags like that. Where did that come from? If you could tell me, if you could find it, I'll give you everything in my bank account now. But at some point, in my humble opinion, it came in because to give comfort and ease for smaller children to be able to carry.
So how should they be held?
That's the question you should be asking. Because there is a way.
And I should go and see what the army does to follow that.
There are multiple methods of carry for the flag.
Okay.
All does not have to be at full ceremonial, which we also do wrong, by the way. But like little things like that, if you're talking drilling, the North has given me an opportunity to be able to, and I don't like to say correct because people take the negative connotation to it, but to modify, and to be able to influence and give thanks for that. So then that interaction now becomes, I'll leave the fight for the coordinators and the directors. You know what I mean?
You're just doing your job.
Train the instructors, I do my job, and then let the instructors go. Then when the instructors have questions, they come to me. Yeah, somebody said XYZ. I'm like, okay, this is what you tell them. And they work from behind the scenes, and I'm fine. And then they might see me at an event and come and challenge me. Yeah, you said that. You said the instructor to so. I'm like, yeah, that's the correct thing to do. And then they could show you chapter and verse for argument's sake. Because you have to be able to back it up. So that's been my involvement with the North to date. And it started also with the drumming aspect because me and David go back a long way as well. And when he was tasked with the Mom of Tassa, developing the North Core, even in seeing the leadership skills in yourself, to which I say no on this podcast, you need to not give that up. Give it to the Lord. You need to not give that up. So whatever you need to do, good. That's for you in drilling too. But when I then got the opportunity to work with the North, then it's a different side. I'll say this. Controversy though, the North have more swagger than the South now.